Judge Vanderbeek Court is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1016, Cheney case. Judge, both parties have been sworn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You all right, everyone? Buckle up, because this one's intense. Imagine heading out for celebratory drinks and waking up 18 months later in court, tangled in daycare bills, ghosting, and baby daddy drama. Mrs. Cheney says he disappeared without a trace. Now he's suddenly back, demanding parental rights, but dodging the responsibilities. So what's the real story? Is he a struggling dad just trying to stay afloat? Or a smooth operator hiding behind the veil of self-employment? Let's break it down, because this courtroom, it's about to erupt.
A promotion, and everybody else left. It left us two, had a little too much to drink. Anyway, I end up pregnant. He's completely out of the picture, doesn't answer text calls, whatever. All of a sudden, he comes to me and says he wants to be a part of our kid's life. And I said, okay, well, you're gonna have to give me child support. I'm not just gonna let you all of a sudden be dad, you know? And
How old is the child?
He's 18 months.
So he vanished for nearly 2 years and now suddenly wants to step into the role of dad, but without paying child support? The audacity. She's holding him accountable, and honestly, who can blame her? Childcare isn't free, and neither is fatherhood. As Gen Z might say, this guy's out here trying to co-parent on clearance. Be honest, what would you have done if he ghosted after just one wild night?
Okay, continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. So he's like, well, I can't pay child support, but I'll pay the daycare bill. Daycare's $8.55 a month. Okay. He claims he only makes $24,000 a year. That adds up to almost half his income, if that's what he actually said. I mean, this is not the way a guy who lives a life of $24,000. I mean, that suit probably costs like, I don't know, half that or something.
It is a nice suit.
I shop clearance.
Okay.
I do pretty well on sales.
He shops on clearance.
Okay. I've never seen that suit at JCPenney, but all right.
Okay. So $855 a month in daycare. You say you make $24,000 a year.
$24,000 a year, that is
And
correct.
I do have his tax returns that he produced showing $24,000 a year, but yourself.
$24K a year and rocking a freshly pressed suit? Something's not adding up? And let's not skip over the part where he filed his own taxes. Self-employed or just full of himself? The judge isn't buying the numbers, and Mrs. Cheney smells something fishy. Is he faking broke just to dodge the check?
And living expenses, they're shared between your roommates?
Pretty much we kind of split the groceries, things like that. Utilities get split evenly.
Okay. Well, then that kind of makes sense. So you're asking, what exactly are you asking for him to do?
My name's Naru Witherspoon. I'm an attorney, and I'm licensed in Illinois, Texas, and Missouri. I handle cases for families all over the nation. And I want to talk to you about Vonda Bailey. Vonda Bailey...
Oh. He's splitting rent and ramen with roommates, crying broke over toothpaste, but somehow manages to shell out $855 a month for daycare. Either he's starring in a Netflix budgeting doc, or he's finessing the whole system. And here's the twist. That daycare, it's called child support. Let that sink in.
It seems kind of sketchy that he can afford almost $900 a month in daycare, but won't pay child support. I feel like there's something going on with the money situation. There's got to be a reason why he's doing things the way he does.
So you want him to pay $855 in daycare and child support?
I mean, he wants to be a part of his life.
That wasn't my question.
Okay.
Do you want him to pay $855 in daycare as well as pay child support?
She's not asking for the moon, just fairness. But here's the kicker. Legally, he can't pay both, daycare and court-ordered support. It's one or the other. Now the judge is spelling it out, and the courtroom turns into a crash course in family law. Does she compromise or hold the line?
Be a middle ground for you.
I guess we'd have to kind of discuss what would be child support versus daycare and how the parental responsibilities would change. Would he get him on weekends? Would he get him on holidays? Things like that. So,
Well, we're here
because he
today.
doesn't live real close either. you know.
Well, we're here today, so let's discuss it. Like I said, he cannot pay daycare on top of child support. It just can't happen.
Interview, she's clearly overwhelmed. And honestly, who wouldn't be? It's her first time in the legal ring, and she's fighting solo. No lawyer, no guidebook, just raw instinct and rising frustration. The judge's patience is wearing thin. Now the real question is she here to find common ground or to settle the score?
What you can do, what you can't do, what happens with visitation and stuff like that. You know, he was absent the entire first year, completely absent. So I paid 100% of everything. You know, he was in the hospital after he was born. I took care of those bills.
And you didn't give her any money?
Not at that point, Your Honor, no.
What was the reason for that?
I was effectively in the same situation I am now. Again, being self-employed, my income has not gone up. There was a little bit of a disconnect.
18 months of silence. No calls, no cash, not even a diaper. Now suddenly he wants to talk about building a relationship? The timing couldn't be worse. She's been carrying the load solo, and now he wants rights without receipts? Nah. Accountability doesn't get to disappear for a year and show up like nothing happened.
No.
Well, he knocked me up and left for a year. So, I mean, there might be some other women out there.
Wait a minute, in fairness.
That may not be able to count how many partners they've been with, but I know it was his kid.
In fairness, he wasn't alone in knocking you up.
I get that. And I took 100% responsibility for that child for a full 12 months. Okay.
Let's not blame it all on him. You have one child, correct? Okay, so let's stick to what is in front of us. We're not worried about any other children that may be out there.
Boom. She drops the line. He knocked me up and dipped, then casually suggests this might not be his first disappearing act. Ouch. But the judge isn't here for theatrics. She cuts through the noise. One child, one case, zero time for speculation.
What do you pay?
It's like $130 or something a month. It comes right out of my check, so I'm not sure the exact amount of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm looking
130,
at
133, something like that.
I'm looking at what you also turned in. It looks like it's about $113.
13, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to do to make it fair, because he is paying about 3 times the amount that his child support should be.
Yeah, well, his bar bills are about the...
And there it is, $349. That's what he legally owes in child support based on his reported income. But guess what? He's been paying $855, more than triple the amount. Plot twist, he's overpaying and doing it voluntarily. Or maybe it's not generosity. Maybe it's guilt. Tick.
5 plus the 113, it comes out to $968 a month in child support. So $968 would be all that he pays. And out of that, that would include whatever, if you change daycares, let me just make sure I'm very clear on this. If you change daycares and the amount goes up to $1,000, all he's responsible for is the $855 for the daycare. That's it. That's all you're responsible for. But the
interview. The judge makes it official. He's covering daycare and reimbursing her health insurance. Total, $968. That's not just a ruling, it's a financial slap with a bow on it. And if he wants to skip that extra $113, simple. Put the kid on his insurance. Accountability with options.
Lowering it, or at least the two of us coming to some sort of agreement saying, you know, I'm already paying 45% of my salary. I've got to pay now $968 a month, which is, again, more than double what I'm supposed to be paying in child support.
You've been paying, although it's 3 times the amount, you've been comfortably paying this. This isn't something that she necessarily, well, when I say
now he's sweating. Wait, I gotta pay almost $1,000? Yes, King, you already were. The judge hits back with straight facts. You've been surviving just fine with roommates and ramen, but the law, it moves for the child's best interest, and that means daycare comes first. Harsh or just real? Tway.
But based on what you all have been telling me, you've been paying daycare, it's $855. that would be in the best interest of the child to at least make sure that the daycare expense is covered. So, like I said, if you guys decide to come with something different, you can come back and modify that, and I'd be happy to enter in the number that you all come up with. Is there anything further today? Okay, anything further? No, thank you. Okay, well, there's nothing further. You all are dismissed.
So what just happened? A dad who dipped out now owes nearly $1,000 a month, not as punishment, but straight up math. The judge didn't serve revenge, she found balance. One side cried support, the other cried struggle, but in the end, the child won. If this courtroom plot twist hit you like it hit me, drop your thoughts, hit like, and subscribe for more real courtroom moments.